All right, so I'll quickly sit down. I'll just do like a quick intro
In
for
my
you.
spot?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then, oh shit. And then you'll come in. All right, ready? Oh, I like this chair.
Yeah, it's good.
Is this good for your back?
Yeah. It's like makes you activate your core when you're sitting.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's an orthopedic chair. I don't know what that
I
means.
need one of these.
Yeah. You get sore nuts after sitting
Sore
for a while.
That you do?
No, yeah, I do.
All right, let's do it. G'day legends, welcome back to Mikey Talk. Today we have episode 35, another guest episode for you. This next guest is a jewellery maker and a creative powerhouse. She spent the last few years travelling around Australia, building her business from her van, and now she's set up a base in Melbourne. So please welcome Katie Flinn. There you go.
Hello.
So you're in a house now.
I am in a house now.
How does that feel?
It feels really good on the nervous system. Yeah.
All right, so I've got 10 questions for you.
Perfect.
You ready to jump in?
I'm ready.
All right, can you take me back to the very first piece of jewellery that you ever made?
Okay, the first ever piece of jewellery I ever made was a moonstone ring that I copied off a picture I found on Pinterest. But to set the scene for you, I was in India at the time, traveling, and I'd been there for a week, and I'd met this couple, and the girl said, "Hey, I'm gonna go do this jewelry making class. Do you want to come with me?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," like kind of reluctant to go, almost just feeling a bit lazy. And I said, "No, I've been here a week. I haven't done anything. Let's go and do it." And so I found myself in this tiny blue room in Pushkar, silversmithing, making a moonstone ring with 5 little baubles on it. I don't have it anymore because it broke, but I do have photos of it, which I can send you if you want. Yeah, we'll flash it up right here.
Did you know at the time that, like, when you were doing that this was going to be something that you were going to be doing more of?
No, I thought it was going to be like a macrame jewelry making class, like kind of like what you're wearing, or like beaded bracelets or something like that. It was more like, cool, I'm on holiday, I need to go like have this experience, so to speak. And then once we got there, it was like, oh my god, this is fully like silversmithing. Like, we're making the jewelry, we're sawing it, we're soldering, we're using torches, like the whole thing. And I fell in love immediately. Like, it was like, holy shit, this is like, I think this might be my thing. Yeah, and like there'd been other little like signals, throughout my life. Like, my mum had bought my sister and I a like jewelry bracelet making kit one year for Christmas, and like I went really in on that, and I thought, maybe I could make these and sell them at markets or something, and that just never really eventuated because I was 14. But I've always loved jewelry. Like, we'd go to markets and I would always just find myself at like the jewelry stalls and just checking out all the jewelry there. And I had the idea once when I was like 19 or 20, after I'd moved to Australia, thinking about that time making the beaded bracelets, and I was like, oh, maybe that's something I can kind of explore again. It just never really eventuated. I didn't follow the spark enough and didn't really know what that journey would look like, so I never did it. But it just eventually kept coming back around, kept popping back up, and found myself in a jewelry making class in India.
There you go.
Yeah.
But the signs were there.
Yeah, the signs were there for sure.
So now you've moved into a house after spending so much time in a van. What was the reality of van life like?
Oh, I love this question, because it is sort of different, I think, to what is painted online. I mean, it's not super common that we share the harder parts. There's so much amazing stuff, that comes along with van life, like the freedom, being able to travel and do whatever you want. But the reality for me was, I, for one, was running my business full-time still from the van. So there was a lot of me actually just working full-time, but then driving around a lot, traveling from place to place, constantly moving, whilst also filming, editing, and doing voiceovers for an online course. And so I just had like actually a lot on my plate that I was doing. So it was kind of stressful in a sense, whilst, oh my gosh, the freedom that it provided, just in the sense of having a house, like a roof over my head no matter what, you know, even though it was a van, like that is just a sense of freedom that I'll forever be grateful for. And it really allowed me to like come out of survival mode a little bit, even though I was still just working heaps, like working a lot. It was just honestly a really pivotal time in my life as well, because that's where I like joined the gym, and that's where, like, you know, for anyone that knows me in real life now, you know that that's a huge part of my life and like my identity as a person. But yeah, van life itself, it's not all glitz and glamour. You know, I'm really grateful that I had a van that was kind of a full apartment in a tiny space. I had a toilet and everything. I did have a shower, but it was like an outdoor, like rinse off type shower. But yeah, it can be really tough too. It's really isolating if you are traveling around a lot and not in the places where your communities are. I ended up in Perth for about 3 months, and by the end of it, I was definitely like really lonely and felt really isolated. Long story short, I hit a kangaroo driving through South Australia, not South Africa. Yeah, big trip. And I got to Perth, but had to wait like 3 months for parts. So I couldn't really do too much and didn't get to travel too much through Western Australia. But yeah, I say this all to say that it really taught me how important having routines are, how important having a community around you is, and yeah, just how much, you know, as humans, we feel safe and, you know, relaxed by having our safe spaces, by having a house to come back to. Even though my van was that, there was always a level of being a little bit on edge, always sort of feeling like I wasn't allowed to be in the places that I was. So to some degree, you know, there was always a level of like a low level of anxiety that you're just living with all the time. And that's not good for anyone, you know. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that time, because yeah, it really taught me how important it is to have routine and people around you, and, you know, committing to a place and getting to know the people around you, and having, you know, your regulars at your shops, or, you know, the gym. You know, that's another thing, like traveling full time on the road, always going to different gyms sounds like nothing on a surface level, and same thing with like going to different supermarkets all the time. It's such the smallest thing, but it's actually so much mental load trying to figure out where everything is every time you go to the shops or every time you go to a new gym. You don't even know if they have the equipment that you need or whatever, and it's just these little micro things. And I feel like that's what van life is just this massive load of all these like micro mental loads that eventually do build up. And then yeah, I definitely got burnt out at the end, for sure.
Yeah, is that why you decided to like set up here in Melbourne? Like it was just too you had enough?
Yeah, I actually made it back to the Northern Rivers, which is where I was living at the time before moving into the van full time. And lived in Melbourne for 6 months. I just like, yeah, I needed to be done with the van. I needed security. I needed a solid base. And then after, you know, kind of after getting that, it gave me enough space and mental space, because I wasn't making all these micro decisions every day, that I realized that like Melbourne was actually where I wanted to be. So then, yeah, made my way down here, but then decided to live in the van for another 4 months, because I was about to jet off to Europe. So I thought I'll just save some extra coin, and when I get back, I'll move into a place. And then that's where I am now.
Here we are.
Yeah.
In a house.
Yeah. In a house, finally. Yeah.
So let's go back a couple of weeks. So we spent New Year's in the bush for a week, which I've talked about on this show before. What does that yearly tradition and community mean to you?
Oh, I love this time of year. It's just such the most safest and creative, silly, fun time of year, where actually I get to see, it's like the only time of year I get to see a bunch of people, just because the older we get, you know, life goes on, but it's really special to have a place where our group of friends has a place to put in time and energy into creating something beautiful. What I'm trying to say is we have so many talented people within our community, and it's really awesome to have a place where we all get to put those creative skills into practice, whether that's, you know, the boys pulling together the sound system, you know, the crew making the most amazing decor that I've ever seen in my life, you know, everyone sharing their music sets, pulling their weight in all sorts of little ways, doing the bar shifts. It's just like, yeah, a really nice way for us to come together and be able to express our skills and talents and creativity in such a safe place as well. Like, just it's just beautiful.
And just knowing that it's there at the end of every waiting as well.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just a locked in sure thing, you know, that you always have something to look forward to. And it's even, you know, after we complete one, like immediately it's like, oh, let's do this next year. And it's like all the ideas are flowing, and it's really nice to have something to build on. You know, even, you know, we have friends that, you know, the last 8 years or so, maybe longer, maybe less, I don't know, like every week they get together for like anime night. And like, I don't think I've ever committed to something for that long in my life ever, apart from like jewelry making, you know. It's, and like, I just think that's really special. Although we're not having New Year's every week, I think, yeah, having something that we continue to build on every year just feels really special as well.
Yeah, I love it. It was a couple of years ago now that we actually, me and you played our first DJ sets together, which was sick. What was it like for you playing music instead of just receiving it on the dance floor?
Yeah, I loved this. I think last year I was the first year that we did it, which was 2 years ago, you and I was definitely a lot more nervous, and really wanting to not fail and wanting to get it right. And so, yeah, like, I loved being able to share my music and, you know, receive such beautiful feedback from, you know, people in the crew who are really talented within their like mixing skills and stuff, to like say some really nice things. And yeah, it was really awesome to have that feedback. And then this year was even better because I feel like my music taste has really developed in a way that kind of suits where a lot of the crew's music tastes are as well. So I was really, really excited to play this year. And yeah, kind of give back in a way that like I've always had so much fun receiving in the years, and feeling like I can contribute to like a vibe, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you fucking crushed it as well this year, especially like the set was so much fun this year.
Yeah, I felt a lot more confident in just, I think myself as a person, like I don't really care if people didn't like the music so much. Where the first time I was like, oh, I just want everyone to like the music and have a good time. But just the reality is, you know, not everyone's music is for everyone. You know, there's sets that weren't 100% for me, but I still enjoyed it. And whereas this year I was just like, oh, it just is what it is. I'm going to go up there and have fun and play the music that I like, and it'll be a vibe. And it definitely showed, I think. And even the music selection and the way that I went about it was very intentional with just like the key and just the overall vibe and the energy. And I made sure that everything like really flowed together, even though I still play, I'm not like a one genre kind of girl. I, you know, went through some like progressive psytrance into more like psychedelic techno, into trance, into deep techno, which like that's just me. Like I have lots of different tastes and lots of different things. So yeah, I think that was a lot of fun being able to express, you know, different flavors of me too in a different way, rather than like just visually and, or, you know, things that I talk about or whatever. It's like cool to have a different outlet to like showcase parts of you.
It was a very Katie set.
Yeah, definitely very high energy.
It takes a lot to turn a passion into a fully sustainable business. Was there a certain point with your jewelry that you realised that you could go all in on it?
Yes, sort of. So I was actually, right before I went full-time in my business, I was working full-time, like Monday to Friday, at a hair salon, like as an apprentice hairdresser. And like I actually loved it. I really enjoyed that job, but I got to the point where everything was just too much, like trying to work full time, manage, you know, being in a relationship at the time, manage a social life, and then also trying to make jewelry. It was just like, I actually just couldn't do it all. Like I was so close to having a mental breakdown. And so I thought, okay, let's just leave this job. Let's get a part-time gig so that I can, you know, then start working to like build up my jewelry business. So I quit my job. I had wanted to have another job lined up before I did that, but it just, as I spoke to you about before, Mikey, when I jump ship and I don't wait around to do it. So I jumped ship, and I thought I'll just give myself like 2 weeks to catch up on all of my existing, you know, custom orders and stuff like that. And then I just like never caught up, like still haven't to this day, really. And yeah, it was kind of after like maybe 3 weeks where I was like, oh my gosh, like now that I've, you know, let people know that I have more space for orders, like the orders just flowed in even more. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to have time to get a part-time job. And then COVID hit. So that kind of made the thought of trying to get another job feel impossible at the time, because like none of us really knew what the world was going to look like. I thought we were like doomed forever. I thought we were going to have people rioting in the streets. Like no one's going to have money to spend on jewelry. I thought I was going to get deported back to New Zealand. Like I just didn't know what was going to happen, but thankfully it was fine. And all people really had time to do was online shop. So I think that was like a bit of a blessing in disguise for my business, at least, that everyone was in lockdown. And then being in lockdown myself just gave me a lot of time to work on my business. You know, Monday to Friday I was making jewelry, and then on the weekends I was building my brand, you know, doing, you know, making my website, you know, doing my own DIY branding, going, you know, through someone else to get a logo, spending $700 and hating it, and just like, you know, that whole process of trying to build like this tangible brand, whilst, you know, also selling out like shop updates. And like it was just crazy. It just took off on its own journey. Like it just really organically happened. So I wouldn't say that I felt, okay, now is the time to go full time. It was while I was in that transition of like full-time work to what I thought would be part-time work, and then realizing that once I had made the space for it, that's where the business was able to grow to like be in that position to like support me financially full time, essentially.
Yeah, and you're kind of ready for it as well.
Yeah. But what I will say for anyone watching this who is like, I don't know, maybe starting a business or whatever, the one thing that did help me like on paper be able to identify that I was making enough money to support myself full time was reading the book Profit First by Mike something or other. I can't pronounce his last name. Mike Wazowski? No. And he's got a method that basically that he uses, you know, for businesses called the Profit First method. You could probably just YouTube it and not have to read the book to understand the money splitting method. But that just gave me an idea of like essentially how much money I needed to be making in order to be able to pay myself a certain amount. Which once I started making that, I was like, oh, cool. Like I'm hitting that target. Like I can pay myself enough to like live off now.
Yeah.
So that's more of like the tangible answer of like that logical recognition of like, okay, cool, I'm making enough money now from this. But yeah, also I was just too busy to not like to get another job, essentially. Yeah.
One thing I've really admired about you is how you go about launching new drops and the sales side of things, which I feel like a lot of creatives don't always nail, but you kind of have got both of those worlds down pat. What's some advice you would give to someone that is struggling with that part of the business?
Yeah, okay, I love this. This is like definitely my like zone of genius. I would say the thing I notice a lot of people do is putting a lot of time and energy and effort into creating a drop, whether you're a jeweler or a ceramicist or like a fashion designer, whatever it is, and kind of keeping it all under wraps or behind the scenes, whether intentionally or whether just because people don't have the capacity to like make the effort in sharing about the process being made. But I would say like make the effort to share the process and bring people along on the journey, because that is what essentially gets people emotionally invested in what you're doing. Regardless of if they have the money to buy the thing at the end, you're still going to have eyes on your stuff when people have like emotional buy-in. And the way that people have emotional buy-in is by you actually sharing and opening up and sharing the journey of you making things. I have a friend who actually designed this shirt. She's got a fashion label, and I said to her, I was like, for this drop that you're doing, start showing us the pieces now. Don't leave it all until drop week, because no one's going to care enough to watch the launch week if they aren't seeing the process along the way. And yeah, she took that advice to heart, and it was like one of her most successful drops. Not to like say it was all me or anything like that, no, but just as an example where, you know, often people can keep their cards really close to their chest and, you know, kind of have this like big reveal on launch day. But the thing is, you know, they used to say people need to see something 3 times to like want to buy it or whatever like that. That's way outdated now. Last time I heard it was like people need to see something like 20 times before they buy it or whatever. I'm sure it's probably way more now just because of how crazy social media is. So yeah, you kind of want to be posting about it like every day in the lead up, whether it's, you know, you're just sharing, oh, this is what's happening in the studio today. You know, you don't always have to share every single detail of your product. You still can have things that are a surprise on the day, but the key piece here is, yeah, getting that emotional buy-in from people, getting that emotional investment. You think about like a friend, you know, someone that maybe has been sharing with you for 6 months about, you know, a project that they're working on. Maybe you have a friend that's like painting 5 paintings and you see them every week. You see them every other day. And every time you see them, they're sharing with you, you know, oh, this didn't work this week, or this was really tough this week. And you see that whole journey, and then they do a gallery launch. Like, you're going to be there because you're like, wow, I've seen this whole process. I'm like fucking so proud of you. And it's like you have that emotional buy-in, that emotional investment in what that person's doing because you've seen the journey. And yeah, I think that's the puzzle piece that a lot of people miss when creating products is, or, you know, doing a launch, is they work on the launch behind the scenes and then they try to market the launch date, so to speak, but where they're missing is having that emotional buy-in, I guess.
Yeah. Were you doing that from the start?
Yeah. And it wasn't even something that was ever like overly calculated in the sense. It was just organic for me. I just rode off whatever excitement I had. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like, look at this fucking amazing piece of jewelry that I just made. Like, I could just never contain my excitement about the things that I was doing. And so that always translated, you know, to my stories and like my like Instagram stories and me sharing this stuff, which then like got people invested, you know, especially like all the stuff I do is like one-off pieces. It's like, you know, you share something really cool, or I share something really cool that I've made, and it's someone like really wants to see that piece again, or they're like, oh my God, that thing's sick. What else is she making for the drop? Like, this drop's going to be really exciting. So it's, yeah, giving people enough things to be interested in to keep them hooked on what you're doing.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
And I would say the last puzzle piece of that too is not muddying the waters too much and like trying to promote too many different things at once. Like when I do my drops, it's like that's the only thing going on in my world at that time. It's the only thing I'm really speaking about. Everyone knows that I have a shop update coming because I'm talking about it all the time. Oh my God, just made this amazing piece. It's going to be in the shop update the next day. Oh my God, these pieces going in the shop update. Shop update, shop update, shop update, shop update, shop update. And it's like people know, they're like, okay, we get it. There's a shop update coming. But, you know, people know about it. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
And your passion is infectious as well. It's like you get a bit from the outside. It's easy to get secondhand passionate about it because we can see how excited you genuinely are.
Totally. Well, it's like, you know, imagine like, again, I'm going to like use an example of like somebody coming into a room. Like, imagine I came to you and said, imagine I was like, oh my God, Mikey, the coolest thing just happened to me, and you're going to be like, oh my God, like, okay, what's going on? This person's got something really, really cool going on. Or if I just walked into the room and was like, oh yeah, like I'm dropping some new pieces tomorrow, like check it out if you want.
Completely different.
Totally different. So yeah, and that's I guess another facet of it, for lack of better words, is like creating things that actually excite you, because that is going to be infectious, to use your word, and that is going to like get people excited. If you're excited about something, people can feel that. Yeah,
I agree. How has building on your personal brand helped with the business as a whole?
Oh, it's like made my business what it is today, for sure. Yeah, like I have people that follow my personal account on Instagram, where I just share random things that I get up to. I'm sharing a lot about my fitness at the moment. And I've had multiple people message me saying like, oh, it's been like really cool seeing you share about like your fitness stuff. Like, honestly, whatever it is that you're doing in the world, like I'm in, because I just like rate you as a person. And that is sales. Like that right there is what gets someone buying from you and not someone else. And not to be like no one else gets to have those sales, but that's often the deciding factor between someone investing in you, your offer, your product, your business, versus someone else, is because they're buying into you and they want to support you because you're a good person, you have good values, or you know, maybe you speak the same language as them, as in, you know, you use the same, you know, verbiage or tone of voice. You know, maybe you're someone that's really soft spoken and, you know, really in tune with like how you're feeling and like the feminine side of things, and like there's going to be people that speaks to. And then you've got Adam Sullivan calling people cunts on the internet, and people love it. And it's like, you know, it's just like having a personality online right now, like that is the only thing that's going to really separate you from other people online, especially as online businesses grow and grow and grow, like businesses born on social media. At the end of the day, people follow people that they like, because this is a social media platform and people want to come here to connect to people. So at the end of the day, give people something to connect to, and they will.
I guess that's why it's so important to be authentic as well, and not try to be someone else that you've seen that's doing it as well. It's like you really need to find your own voice and do that, because it'll get exhausting if you're trying to like fake this thing the whole time.
Yeah, totally. And I'm seeing that even like, you know, I notice a lot of people getting kind of quote unquote like fed up with influencers in terms of like, this is my day in my life, or like, come along with me. Like, I don't know, just a lot of these like really similar tropes and themes and types of videos, you know, things that used to work, like a daily routine. And now I'm pretty much guaranteed if someone's posting a daily routine about something, they're promoting a product. And so I'm already like tapped out, versus someone that's like sharing something in a way that hasn't been shared before, or sharing it from a different lens. Like maybe someone is doing a daily routine, but it's like adding value in such a different way. Like my morning as a like 5-figure entrepreneur who also works a full-time job. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like, I think there's so many ways that we can like show our uniqueness online without just becoming like something that people will kind of tune out to. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Like a Mikey Talk episode.
Exactly. Perfect.
So you've been making a lot of like custom pieces and engagement rings even as well. What did these projects mean to you?
Oh, I love this question. It's really special to be part of such a significant point in someone's life. As you know, Mikey, I had the absolute pleasure of making an engagement ring for my best friends Ryan and Ebony, and that was just like so special to, like, for one, create an engagement ring for my best friend, and like just for two, to be part of that process for people that I love, like regardless of her being my best friend, whether it was like another, you know, couple in the group. To like help people bring to life, you know, a token of their love for their special person. Like, it's just really cool. It definitely has added an element of feeling like I'm actually doing something impactful with my jewelry. And, you know, I think that's something that I have always not questioned over the years, but I really want to be someone that, leaves the world better than I found it. And sometimes I feel like, am I doing any good by just making things, like making more stuff for the world? But yeah, bringing that element of like real intentionality to what I create through, signifying someone's love and commitment to someone else is just like so special.
It's pretty crazy. Like, what do you think about it?
It's actually insane. And yeah, it's like I say to people whenever I do make engagement rings for them, it's like, thank you for like choosing me, as the artist to be such a, play a very small part in your love story. Because it is a small part, it's just a ring. But at the end of the day, it's also, something that someone's going to wear for the rest of their life, hopefully. So it's also like not small at all. And that sometimes is just crazy to think about as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like to have that trust of like, people are spending a lot of money on these rings, and it's like, wow, that's a lot. Not like a lot to hold, but it's a lot of trust to have from someone to not only like trust you with like spending that much money on a product, but to create something that's going to withstand years of life and love and living.
It's a fuckload of responsibility.
Definitely, yeah.
But if anyone wants to do it, it's definitely Katie.
Oh, yeah.
So we've only got one question left. We've made it through the whole interview.
Perfect.
What does 2026 look like for you, your business, and for you personally?
Oh, I love this question. Lots of changes actually. So Mikey and I were having a little chat about this before, but 2026 for me is going to be a year of new skills and exploring new ways of doing business and new ways of relating to my craft, my jewelry craft. So I am actually going to be studying this year. Nothing to do with jewelry and nothing to do with business, sort of. But I'm going to be studying functional nutrition, which, really plays into another huge part of my life, which is health and fitness, and the area that really I find super interesting, which is like the diet side of things, like the macronutrients, but also like the root cause of, a lot of things and your hormones and just all this kind of stuff. So that's really exciting for me. I am still going to be doing jewelry as well. But this will just be something that just helps me diversify my life, and not just like diversifying my income, like that too. But I honestly would just do this anyway, even if I wasn't going to make any money from it, because I just love it that much. But yeah, I'm just feeling really called to explore more of the side of me that is to do with the health and the wellness and all the things. And I think I can see ways of tying it all in. I feel like a lot of creative people, including myself, many years ago, do tend to self-neglect and get really lost in their craft, which is like such a beautiful thing, but also, yeah, it can lead to like burnout and not taking care of yourself and not, fueling yourself properly. There were so many days where I would just forget to eat lunch, and not like, not in a way of like not wanting to feed myself, but just like literally getting lost in my craft and then being like, oh my God, it's like 5:00 and all I had to eat today was like avocado toast and like half a chocolate bar. So just like stuff like that. And I know I'm not the only one, because I've had conversations like this with people, or people just running off ciggies and coffee. Like I know it's a thing. So yeah, I don't really know, that may be something that comes into it, where it's, my focus with the health stuff is kind of trying to speak to creatives. I don't really know. But then, yeah, also I love the idea of diversifying my income more so that there's less business pressure on my creativity to perform, which I think will actually allow me to explore more freely with my creativity and, make pieces that maybe like will never sell because they're just too crazy. But I feel like I have such an itch to just be able to do that and not worry about if things are sellable, or if, I've hit my targets for the month to make sure that my rent is paid. And whilst that's also been such an awesome journey to be on in the last few years to make sure that like my business can do that. But I think I'm ready for just a little bit more of what was the word I used before? Like getting to know my craft outside of the business lens. Like I've done the business thing and I will come back to it as that, and I'm not going anywhere with, like, I'm not dropping it or not going to do jewelry, but I'm feeling the call to explore it in a different way outside of that business structure of like, cool, monthly targets, doing this and that, and like seeing it perform as a business, and instead just letting it be creative and artistic and seeing where that leads me. Like, I don't know, who knows? That could lead me to like make some fucking epic pieces for like a fantasy TV show. That's like a mad like dream of mine to like, yeah, have something like appear on a TV show. Like that would be so awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I think that answers the question. But yeah, this year actually a little bit of incubation maybe is a word that I would use. But yeah, I want to make epic pieces of jewelry, and I want the pressure of it performing as a business to be removed from the equation in order to do that.
I really like the idea of nutrition for creatives and how to be performing at your peak by what you're putting in. Like I feel like that's a super intriguing angle.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, just like I think that's where my passion for it is at the moment is just like in the element of like really optimizing, fueling yourself so that you have the most energy and vitality to live like whatever life that you want to live. Like for me, I love training hard and lifting heavy weights in the gym. So it's like, how can I, optimize and tweak things to the level where like my performance is like, epic, where like, someone else might not be their goal, but they might just want to feel energized and not brain foggy, and they don't want to feel burnt out, and they don't want to feel anxious or, all these things, or stressed. And there's so many ways that we can do that through fueling and nutrition, and not just the science and nutrition side of it, but also, something I've been trying to do, so simple, but like to aid my digestion, like first thing in the morning before I do anything, I just get up and do a walk around the block. It takes maybe 4 minutes. Like it's not that much, but just doing that, I'm trying to eat my food outside in the sun, away from my phone, just like smaller tweaks like this too. That's like such a small thing, but really adds up over time. It compounds and can have a huge effect on your mental health and your digestion, which, all of the gut and the brain are linked. That's where all of our serotonin is made, is in the gut. And yeah, we want to be, happy and healthy and thriving, to have energy to pursue our dreams and our goals.
Yeah. We want everyone having good ideas.
Exactly. We want to have the best ideas.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sitting down and doing this, and thank you for, I guess, like your friendship over the last few years. I've loved seeing how you've grown and the confidence that you've got, and especially like being one of the first people in my life close to me that I saw on, I guess, a business venture and a journey, and has inspired me in so many ways. So yeah, thank you. And I wear one of your rings every single day for the last probably 6 years. So
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, right back at you. Thank you for having me.
No
Hope
worries.
you've enjoyed. Yay.
Amazing. Thank you. That was great.
That was great. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, she
10 out of
reckons.
10. How good's the mic?
It's great.
Fuck yeah.
Done. Fuck yeah, that was awesome.
That was
so
sick.
good.